Hello and welcome to the slightly earlier than scheduled EPL Game Week 32 preview with Mus and Joe. Mus, how you doing this morning, mate?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. A little bit tired. It's like we were just saying before we started the stream. It's a bit earlier than usual, but you know what? It's a nice day, so it makes it all that easier, doesn't it?
Absolutely, that's very true.
Yeah, yeah.
And am I right in saying that Roberto Carlos has been dropped for disciplinary reasons?
Yeah, Roberto Carlos is with his curly left foot has been benched this week.
I,
Didn't
I
fancy the
heard
early
him and
kickoff.
I heard him and Tommy Rumble and Tim from Macclesfield were at a party, so they're being disciplined by Joe the Gaffer.
Yeah, oh no, they're lovely, lovely guys. Absolutely brilliant people, fantastic human beings. But but they can prove themselves wrong in the next episode. Show them how it's done on the stream. No, don't worry about what you do off the stream. It's about what you do on the stream. Anyway, okay. We've got a lot. Cheers. It wasn't that bad, was it? I thought it was quite funny.
Very good. It's
Um,
one of your better impressions.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That was so Simon Cowell of you, the way you said that. Right. We've got a lot to get through today, Mus. So, should we get straight into last week's predictions first?
Yep.
Now, I'm just going to rattle through them because we've got a lot of stuff to do. But here's what went down. Man City Leeds. Ross said 3-0 Foden. I said 3-1 Jesus. But Mus, you said 2-1 Leeds. You said Rafinha man of the match, but you got 2-1 Leeds. Fair play to that one, mate. Liverpool Villa. 2-2, Ross said. I said 2-1 to Liverpool. Got that right. Didn't get my man of the match, though. And you said 2-0 Liverpool as well. Palace Chelsea. Ross said 2-0 to Chelsea. We both said 1-1. None of us got man of the match that one. Burnley Newcastle. Ross said 0-0 and Tarkowski to be man of the match. You said 1-0 with Wood. I said 2-0 with Wood. And, well, none of us got that, did we? West Ham, Leicester. Ross said 3-1. You said 2-2. I said 3-1. We all said Jay Lings to be man of the match, which he clearly was. So we all got points for that one. Spurs Man United. Ross said 2-2. You said 2-0 Spurs. I said 1-0. We all said Kane. How wrong we all were. It was 3-1 United, wasn't it, in the end? Cavani getting man of the match for that one. Sheffield United, Arsenal. You expected Arsenal to slip up on that one. They ran out 3-0 winners. You said that they'd lose 2-1, but you got your man of the match, Laka. And, oh no, sorry. You said they'd lose 1-0, and you said McGoldrick. Roz said Arsenal would win 2-1, Lacazette. I said Arsenal would win 2-1, Lacazette. So we got the man of the match. We got the Arsenal win. West Brom, Southampton. Roz said 1-0 Dianya. You said 1-0 Dianya. I said 2-1 Pereira. What was the score of that one in the end?
Ooh, 3-0 West Brom, I think.
3-0 West Brom, wasn't it? And it had the controversial VAR situation, but it was fine because West Brom smashed it. So no, we got a point each for the win there. Brighton against Everton. And by the way, at this point, when I was tallying up the points for all of our predictions, at this point, me and Roz were neck and neck on 6 points. Okay. And you're on 5. So sorry, mate. But, the heavy is the head that wears the crown. Sometimes you have to fall, You can't be on top forever. So, yeah, this was 6-all between me and Roz going into this one. I said it'd be 2-1 to Everton and Reece James would be... James Rodriguez would be... It's a bit early, isn't it? Sorry. There's going to be a lot of these stumbles. I saw James written down. I'm like, oh, it must be James. Obviously not, because it's not a Chelsea game. It's Everton, so it's James. So I said 2-1 James. You said 2-1 to Brighton and Trossard. But Roz called a 1-1. He got the draw. He got the point for the draw. It was 0-0, wasn't it? So Roz wins last week's predictions with 7 points from a possible 27. It should be noted. He's good amongst us, but he's not great. And while he's not here, I will slag him off. That puts Roz on 7 for the season, and I mean officially me on 2, but you got one of those, so it's more like 7-1-1. So we are.
You know what? Depressingly, Joe, I think with the number of game weeks coming up, I think Roz can wrap it up next game week.
He can wrap it up.
Mathematically impossible to catch him.
He can wrap it up this week. Literally, if neither of us win this set of predictions today, then he's wrapped it up. It's boring. The title's over in April. It's like Man City. It's like Pep Guardiola. He's come in with all his endless pot of money and spent it all on his prediction software or whatever he uses. I don't know how he does it. But yeah, fair play. Well done, Ros, if you're watching. So, right, we've got those predictions out of the way. Now we can get on with the show. We've had our starter, if you like. Now it's on to the main course. And here are this week's game week fixtures. So I'll run you through them. You can see them on your screen now. Last night, Everton and Spurs shared an entertaining 2-2 draw at Goodison. Today, Newcastle host West Ham at 12:30. Wolves host Sheffield United at 8:15. This is all Premier League, by the way. Remember, this is English Premier League Weekly. There are FA Cup games on today, but we won't be covering those. On Sunday, 1:30, Arsenal host Fulham, and at 4:00, Man United host Burnley. And then it's kind of drip fed us. There's Premier League football every day now for the next week or so. Monday night, Leeds Liverpool. Tuesday night, Chelsea Brighton. Wednesday, you've got a double bill, Spurs Southampton and Villa Man City. And then Thursday night, Leicester host West Brom for BT Sports' only game of the game week, which is probably because they're hosting FA Cup games. Mus, anything out of that list really stand out to you at the moment?
Well, I think the lunchtime kickoff today, the Newcastle West Ham game, stands out as being a really big one, both at the top of the table and at the bottom of the table. And we'll get on to talking about that in more detail. And I think maybe the Leicester West Brom game. So let's go with the first game and the last game of the game week as the standout fixtures. Otherwise, yeah, pretty kind of.
So you don't fancy Leeds Liverpool to be a good one, you know?
Well, I mean, no, objectively, it would be a good one. I think I was looking through the list and I thought that one would be like the equivalent of two heavyweights in like the final rounds, just slugging it out. It would be an exciting, entertaining game, but I think most of the games that have this riding on them, I think the Newcastle West Ham game will be really interesting, and then the Leicester West Brom game in particular.
Yeah, I like your comparison, Leeds Liverpool to a heavyweight contest. It kind of makes me think of Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury. Like the first fight, was it like a couple of years ago? And it was just like bang, 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 bang. Fury was on the floor, then he got up, but then he carried on. And anyway, that will be Leeds will be Tyson Fury in that one, I think. Liverpool will have to show a bit more control, and Liverpool, I reckon, personally, will come out with the win. But we'll get onto that. We will get onto that. But first, let me just tell you, we're going to preview each of those games in those fixtures now, and we're going to predict the outcomes. Ros has faxed me his predictions over on the old facsimile, and his predictions are all in the system. They're locked in, Mus. So he can't change his mind last second, which is quite nice.
Are we sticking with the EPL weekly constitution that says your predictions only count if you turn up?
Maybe we could discuss it next week. That would be quite funny, actually. Let's try it. Let's see how we get on. And if we lose, if Ros wins next week, then we'll try and do some underhand tactics. Yeah. Okay. Right, guys, subscribe to this channel to make sure you never miss a live stream again, and make sure you allow notifications so you know exactly when we go live. You'll get a little notification saying "Ba-ding, EPLW is live." EPLW pod on Twitter as well. I think we're on 9 followers at the moment. We +1 last week. Let's see if we can do it again this week and get to the magic perfect number 10, our first milestone in Twitter land. Also, you need to comment in the section in the chat box over there to put your predictions in there. So if you're watching this, we want your predictions as well, and we will share them with the world. Okay, that's pretty much it, Mus. Apart from like, subscribe, comment, allow notifications, and tell a friend to tell a friend. That's how we're going to grow this thing, and we're going to take it to the world. All of our great puns and great impressions, the more people that see them, the better, right? We're going to bring joy to the world. Anyway, enough of my blabbering. Let's get on to the fixtures. Okay, first fixture then of the game week, and as you said, most tasty one. It's 4th against 4th bottom. Newcastle hosting West Ham at St James's Park from 12:30 on Sky Sports. Maximan and Wilson are likely to start for Newcastle following their game-changing impact as substitutes against Burnley. I mean, that couldn't come soon enough for Newcastle, could it? Those two being back. There was one point where it was looking like they weren't going to be back for the rest of the season. They've managed to get them back, squeeze them in for the last few games. Head coach Steve Bruce remains without Isaac Hayden, Ryan Fraser, Fabian Schär, and Jamal Lascelles. West Ham manager David Moyes said Aaron Cresswell is a fitness doubt, but we hope he'll be okay. And when I was picking my fantasy football team, I'm in an R and I was hovering over Cresswell, and I was like, do I put him in? Do I not? Do I put him in? Do I not? Anyway, it said it was 75% chance of playing, so he's blatantly going to play. But anyway, well, Lanzini and Ogbonna could return, and Mark Noble is expected to play despite a sore elbow. Mark Noble, how good has he been filling in for the injured Declan Rice? Also, Mikel Antonio out of action as well. So, Mus, how do you see this one playing out?
So I think even without Fabian Schär, Steve Bruce is starting to believe that Newcastle can stay up. But I think, you never too early for a plan.
No, not at all, mate. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever you do one of these puns, it always goes a different way from what you expect. When you said share, I was expecting something about sharing and caring, or a tear and share for capture or something like that. But no, you went straight for like 80s pop sensation share.
I lived surprised.
Yeah.
But I think you mentioned them there in your kind of highlight, your match overview. Callum Wilson and Alan Saint-Maximin are the real difference makers for Newcastle. We saw last week against Burnley, I think, that especially Alan Saint-Maximin, or ASMR, as Newcastle fans call him, his music to their ears. He can pop up with that bit of individualistic magic that I think teams like Fulham, West Brom, they kind of lack that bit of individual brilliance that can really kind of drag you back into the game.
Yeah.
So I think that really gives Newcastle hope. That said, I don't expect Steve Bruce to necessarily throw caution to the wind and kind of, go for this game, in a really positive manner. I think he'll still try and keep it quite tight and cagey, and a draw is a good result for Newcastle ultimately, given the gap that they're opening up on Fulham. But I think it's also interesting from a West Ham perspective. It's a big game for them. They face Chelsea next Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I think they really want to try and avoid slipping up. There's only 1 point separating them and Chelsea at the moment. And I think if anyone's going to drop out the top four, it's going to be Leicester or West Ham, or potentially both. But West Ham have favourable fixtures after the Chelsea game: Burnley, Everton, Brighton, West Brom, Southampton.
Yeah.
So if they can get through today and then get a result against Chelsea, I think it's looking really good for the Hammers. So today's kind of like, and also it's worth mentioning that Chelsea's games Chelsea's kind of fixture congestion will also start playing a role, because I think 3 days after they face West Ham, they've got Real Madrid, and then 3 days after they face Real Madrid in Spain, they come back and face Man City. So I think they're going to really start struggling to.
Interesting. So it's a very big game for West Ham today, is what you're saying. Win this one, get past Chelsea, and they're looking at the promised land. And can you believe it? Could you imagine this time last season saying West Ham will be in the Champions League come 21-22 season? It's unbelievable. What's your prediction then for the game?
Okay, let me just double check. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Ooh. And who's your man of the match?
Wilson as my man of the match.
Who, sorry?
Callum Wilson.
Oh, interesting. So you think Wilson's going to grab a point for Newcastle? I mean, Roz has gone 3-0 West Ham with Lingard. I've gone 3-2 West Ham with Lingard. I reckon it's going to be, Newcastle can score goals with those guys back in the team. And West Ham are known for shipping their goals. Their last results, 3-2, 3-1, 3-0, they ship goals. They have to score 3. But I think they will rely on some magic from Lingard and Leviosa, to get them those 3 goals. And I've put Lingard man of the match as well, 3-2. Okay, let's move on to the next game then, shall we? Wolves, Sheffield United. Interesting one, this. two of the kind of teams that maybe not having the best season, let's be honest. Sheffield United are obviously rooted to the bottom of the table. Wolves in 12th position on 38 points. So they are safe pretty much. So what are they playing for here? They're playing for next season, aren't they? They're without Ruben Neves following his positive COVID-19 test, but Willy Bolly is available after his self-isolation. Pedro Neto and Johnny have both had knee surgery, ruling them out for the remainder of the season. It's a bit of a sad one, Pedro Neto. You know, Wolves not been lucky with injuries, let's be honest. Sheffield United midfielder John Fleck is a doubt because of a groin problem, while Sander Berg continues to build up his fitness, won't be involved. And Ollie McBurney is confirmed out for the season with a stress fracture in his foot. I've had a stress fracture in my foot. It's not fun. I can tell you that from experience. Mus, quickly tell me where you see this game going and your prediction and man of the match.
Well, you described it as an interesting one. I think the word interesting is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. I've just written down Borefest. I don't want to do a Gary Neville and kind of fall into that trap, but this game doesn't particularly excite me. I think I've got this down as being a 1-0 for Wolves. I think it might be a tough watch. I have to live with the regret of saying that Sheffield United will beat Arsenal last week, and I watched the game and there was no way in hell Sheffield United were going to score.
I'm a bit scared that Sheffield United might not be too good in the Championship next season as well. Like, looking at the way they're playing, it's not great. But you've gone for a 1-0 Wolves. Same here. I went for Connor Cody, man of the match. I can see Connor Cody, you know, leading them to victory. Have you got Cody as well? You're grinning like...
I haven't, but the guy above me in my FPL mini league has bought in Connor Cody, so I really hope he isn't the man of the
match. Who are you going for then? Who's your man of the match?
I've gone for Podence.
Yeah, same as Roz. He's gone 2-1 Wolves, Podence. He's expecting a bit more from the game than us. But I mean, there's no need to watch this one, is there, really? Let's be honest.
I'll give it a miss.
Just get the condensed 2-minute highlight package on Match of the Day later tonight.
Go to a beer garden instead.
Yeah, exactly. Go get a bit of sunshine and work on that tan for the summer. Right, okay. Let's move on. Sunday, 1:30. Arsenal host Fulham at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal will again be without David Luiz and Kieran Tierney due to their respective knee injuries. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is recovering from malaria and is a doubt, but Martin Odegaard could return after an ankle problem. Fulham welcome back Ademola Lookman, South London boy, who missed the defeat by Wolves with a hamstring issue. Tom Kearney is nearing a return. Hopefully he can squeeze a couple more Prem games onto his CV before they go down. But Terence Congolo has been ruled out for the rest of the season. Aubameyang, it goes from bad to worse for that guy, doesn't it? Like, he's had a really, really horrible year and now he's got malaria.
Yeah, it's true. It's worth remembering it's been a difficult season for him, both kind of off the field and on it as well. But obviously, we wish him well. It can be quite a debilitating illness. But, on the footballing side, ironically, their star man up front getting malaria hasn't taken the sting out of their season. And there's still a lot to play for.
That's going to bite, mate. I wouldn't... That's going to bite.
Don't bite. Just let it go. I'm surprised you haven't called me Mosquito or something.
Yeah, no, I was about to, but then I thought that was a bit of a cheap shot. But...
You're like, I'm going to take the moral high ground on this. Fair enough. I think there'll be some rotation, but I think Arsenal could win this. They're riding high. It's good that Fulham have Lookman back. He's the nearest thing they have to the X factor. But I think Arsenal should win comfortably.
Okay, what's your prediction and who's man of the match?
2-0, and as I said, there'll be rotation. So I've gone for Martinelli as a bit of a outside the box.
2-0 Martinelli. I've gone for 3-0 Saka because he seems to be back on form, and Roz has gone for 3-1 to Arsenal with Lacazette. Will is in the comments. Will says, if Arsenal get a result against Fulham, there's a strong chance they might leapfrog Spurs in the next few weeks. Spurs have a tough few remaining fixtures. Very good point, Will. And I think, Yeah, that is. We might see a St Totteringham's Day yet this season, and it'll be against Mourinho, all the sweeter. Right, let's move on. We have got a lot of matches to cram in here, Miss. We've got to be quick. So, Man United, Burnley. Let's talk Man United, shall we? Man United forward Marcus Rashford will have a fitness test on his foot injury. Not sure how fitness and an injury of the foot are linked. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and Scott McDominay return to the squad after being suspended for the Europa League win over Granada in middle week. Burnley manager Sean Dyche says it's touch and go whether goalkeeper Nick Pope will be fit, while Dwight McNeil is also a doubt. Nick Pope, didn't he buy some old goalposts last week? He bought the old goalposts of York City or something at an auction, or something like that. Anyway, look it up. It's interesting. If I had time, I'd tell you in full detail.
Was it a charity auction?
I assume so.
Oh.
I hope so.
Pope. That's very nice. So Pope being a saint.
No, sorry, that's not good enough, Miss. Sorry. Ashley Barnes, Robbie Brady, and Kevin Long remain on the sidelines. Right, Miss. Very quick. We're going to have to be so quick. Sorry. Man United, Burnley. Prediction, man of the match.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a draw. You know, notwithstanding the Old Trafford seat covers changing colour and that obviously being a major factor. I think it'll, a bit of European hangover, 1-1. I was going to go for McNeil, but you just said he's a doubt, so I'm going to play it safe and go for that. This is just me speaking, Joe. This is not my first submission. I'm going to go with Chris Wood as the man of the match.
You're going with Chris Wood as man of the match, and that is you've got Wood. I've got Pogba 2-0 Man United, and Roz has gone for 2-0 Man United as well with Cavani. Cavani showing up, playing for that contract, isn't he? Cavani trying to get an extension. Let's move on to Leeds Liverpool then. For Leeds Liverpool, Roz is going for the same result as the reverse fixture this season, where Salah got the hat-trick and Liverpool won 4-3. He's saying Liverpool will win 4-3 and Salah will be man of the match. I've personally gone for 3-2 Leeds, with Rafinha being man of the match. This is a Leeds team that just are off the back of beating Man City and haven't had a midweek fixture. Liverpool have had a debilitating, exhausting experience against Real Madrid, being held 0-0 at Anfield during the middle of the week. And they went all out on that, didn't they? And couldn't do it. So, I don't know. I think Leeds on the front foot, they're going to be fit as a butcher's dog. They're going to be all over it. And I fancy Leeds to win this goal fest. What do you reckon, Miss?
I agree with Roz. I think it'll be a few goals in the game. I've gone for 3-2 Liverpool with Salah as man of the match.
Interesting. Okay, let me lock that prediction in. So we've all gone for a massive goal fest there, and you and Roz both going for Salah. It will definitely hopefully it will live up to that goal fest situation. Okay, let's get on then to Chelsea against Brighton, which is, let's have a look. Where have we got here? Head to head. So, previous meetings. So Chelsea won this one 3-1 back in September. Very different Chelsea team, though. I mean, what are we expecting from this one, Miss? Really and truly.
I'm expecting a very professional display from Chelsea. Tight at the back. Werner didn't even come on against was it Sevilla? No, not Sevilla. Porto. There you go. They were playing in Sevilla. That's what confused me.
Yeah.
He didn't even come on, so I'm expecting. I put him down as my man of the match. I think it'll be a Chelsea 2-0 clinical victory.
Yeah, Roz has gone for a 2-0 with the main man, Mason Mount, man of the match. That's a lot of M's. And I've gone for 2-1. Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz has started to really work in that false nine role under Tommy Tuchel. So I think Kai's the limit really with him, isn't it? So that was completely off the top of my head. I did not plan that. I know you like to plan all your puns, but mine was
not at all. They're all off the top of the dome like a freestyle rapper.
Top of the dome. Right, okay. A few more to squeeze in then. Spurs Southampton. Now, this one, interesting. The reverse fixture was 5-2 to Spurs. It was that game earlier in the season. Do you remember Kane got 1 goal and 4 assists? or three. Yeah, 1 goal and 4 assists, and Son got the other 4 goals, and everyone was like, Spurs are going to be a challenge this season. Turns out they weren't. And after what Paul Pogba has been saying about Jose Mourinho in the press, last night, yesterday, Mourinho had his tit for tat back and said he didn't care what Pogba said and still tried to kind of put him down a bit or whatever. I don't know what the narrative is really. I don't know why Pogba had to come out and say this stuff about Mourinho, but it's clearly like irked Mourinho a bit, and him saying I don't care what he says is clearly he does care because Mourinho is a proud man. But it's funny because it made me think about the Dele Alli situation at Spurs. You know, Dele Alli is one of the most naturally gifted English players, and he's not even reached his prime yet. He's done, he's a beautiful player, and it pains me as an Arsenal fan to say it, but Dele Alli's a great player. And under Mourinho, he's just been, I don't know if you saw the Amazon documentary, the first thing Mourinho said when he walked in, he says to Dele Alli, "You're going to be trouble for me, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And that was it. It sort of set the tone. And Dele Alli's kind of faded off into the distance. And really, he should be, he would have been a nailed on shirt for a tournament. We're looking at who's on the plane for the Euros. We haven't mentioned Dele Alli when we talked about that role in the England team. So are the wheels falling off for Mourinho? We know that he has this cycle when he goes into a club, the sort of things he says, and when it's starting to go wrong, the sort of things he says. Can you see that happening? How long's Mourinho got left at Spurs? And what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the wheels are falling off. There's obviously a pattern, and it's following a long-established routine that we've seen at many other clubs on his return to Chelsea and Man United. So yeah, I think I guess the question everyone's talking about is, can Spurs afford to get rid of him? I think we all agree that it will probably be for the better to move on from him.
Yeah.
I think what you have to remember about this game, Joe, is that bread is bread and cheese is cheese, right? That's what Jose wanted us to know. And I think Spurs' season is in debris.
Oh,
absolute
no.
rubble. But that said, I've gone for a Spurs victory 2-1 with Heung-min Son as man of the match.
Spurs victory 2-1, Heung-min Son. This is an interesting one as well for the fact that Kane kind of limped off last night against Everton, didn't he? And Roz has gone for 2-1 as well, but he's gone for Kane as well. And I've gone 4-0 to Spurs. I think 2-1's a bit kind of generous to Southampton, really. Like, Southampton are poo-poo, for want of a better word. They're not been great. And Harry Kane is never injured. He says he's injured, and he somehow miraculously isn't. I reckon that guy's had more injections than something, fill in the blank, but
then Philip Schofield's forehead.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna come to you to finish my one-liners off in the future. We had a comment in the chat: Chelsea Brighton off because of FA Cup. Yes, it is off. It's been moved to mid-week. So we are racing through these fixtures. We're on to Villa Man City now, which is on when is that? Thursday. Thursday, Wednesday, who knows?
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday. Villa Man City. So last time around, this one was 2-0 to City. Bernardo Silva and Ilkay Gundogan scoring. And they go into this match, Aston Villa. Not the greatest form. They've only won 1 in 6. But, that was against Fulham. They lost to Liverpool. They lost to Spurs. Drew with Newcastle. Drew with Wolves. Lost to Sheffield United. Are they kind of just happy to be, solidifying their place in the Premier League for next season and just sort of playing out the rest of the season?
Well, I think 2 big events has kind of knocked their season off kilter, really. The COVID outbreak that led to the training ground closing and a lot of disruption there. And then the Jack Grealish injury and then subsequent setback. I think that's what's really affecting them. And I don't know if you know anything about his potential return for this game, or is he set to be out still?
I'm not sure. There's no team news on it yet because it's kind of 5 days away, so we can't really get the official team news yet until I think 2 or 3 days before when the press conferences are. So we'll find out on Monday, essentially.
So I mean, what I'd say about this game is, well, firstly, I'm really admiring what Pep Guardiola seems to be playing like 4D chess this season. Playing with a false nine and no striker, letting his club record striker kind of leave at the end of the season. It's starting to make me think that maybe he's just trying to bring down Haaland's price. So that when they do go for him, they'll be like, look, we don't need him, but if you want to come and play here, we'll take you at
Interesting.
a knockdown fee. But yeah, I think it will be a 2-1 away win, so 1-2, and Mahrez will be man of the match.
Mahrez, yeah. I mean, Mahrez has had a really good season, to be fair. He's one of those, doesn't always grab the headlines within the kind of Pep roulette squad rotation situation. But yeah, Mahrez. And do you know what strikes me about Mahrez? Of all the players in the Premier League, every professional footballer has a good touch. Mahrez's touch is out of this world. It is unbelievable.
What? It's funny you say that. I mentioned before we came on air that I was struggling to get to sleep. I found myself at like 4 a.m. watching a 10-minute video of Mahrez's first touches. It's just the most beautiful showreel you could wish to watch.
If you're a lover of the beautiful game and you like to see a good touch, then Mus will. I mean, well, yeah, just like message Mus or something. Find him on Twitter, Mus. What is it? What's your tweet? Twitter?
MUS113.
MUS113 on Twitter. Very catchy name, and he will. Well, maybe he'll post it on Twitter, or maybe we'll post it on EPLW Pod, and you can follow us on Twitter, EPLW Pod. Right, okay. Ros went for 3-1 Man City, man of the match. Foden, Mr. Foden, cashing in on his 100k a week new deal, apparently, this morning, it's been said. So that's in the running. I wonder who Foden's agent is. Interesting. And I went for 2-0 Man City, and I've said Ilkay Gundogan to be man of the match. I think this is a sort of match where he plays a role, and without the threat of Grealish there, he can be a bit more attacking. I think they can have, they might even rest De Bruyne, because De Bruyne hasn't really had a rest, has he, for a while. So Pep might even rest De Bruyne and go back to revert to the Gundogan plan, where he was kind of sitting in before and doing that job. Anyway, on to our last game. And again, I can't give you any solid team news for this one. It's all speculation because this game is on Thursday night, which is 5 days away, 6 days away, whatever. I've forgotten how to count. Anyway, Leicester West Brom. Interesting one this, because obviously Leicester slightly faltering. If you look at the immediate form of these teams, Leicester have lost their last two, and West Brom have won their last two, and it's been a change in fortunes for both of them.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a bit of a bridge too far to expect West Brom to beat West Brom to beat Leicester in this game? Or do you think that trend will continue in both camps?
Well, so we didn't mention this when speaking about Spurs Southampton, but I think morale and momentum is going to be really big here, because either this could be a Leicester going in having just secured the FA Cup final place, in which case big difference. You've got Maddison back on a redemption story, trying to kind of make up for his indiscretions. And I think that could be a really big difference. But that said, I'm expecting this to be a draw.
Okay.
So that kind of accounts for West Brom's brilliant form and confidence going into this game. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw with Maddison as man of the match.
Interesting.
So an Archbishop Desmond, as we like to call it.
Yeah, you've gone for a Desmond. I actually went for an Archbishop Desmond as well. But I've put Mateus Pereira, West Brom's top scorer this season. Fantastic player. Surely if West Brom do go down, he will stay in the Premier League, I imagine. Ros on this one has gone 3-2 to West Brom. Dianya, man of the match.
Okay.
So Ros going for the upset, and that could be the one that wins him the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. But the big one, what the other thing to mention on Leicester is that after this, well, actually, so their last 3 games of the season is United, Chelsea, Spurs.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get, after they collapsed last season and fell out of the Champions League places, I was reminded of, when Brendan Rodgers was at Liverpool in the 13-14 season.
Yes, no slip-ups. Yeah.
No slip-ups. This does not effing slip. And then he went and did. And it feels like maybe that party and the 3 players that he had to drop last season was that moment where he'd asked them to behave themselves, they didn't, and now.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rodgers is all right. He does all right in Scotland where you can win the league in February, but it's like he gets to a certain point and it gets hard, and it's the stamina, maybe the staying power. It's like he's going, it's like he is running up the hill at Cheltenham, like the horse racing. And Cheltenham's a really hard course because there's lots of hills, but the finish is uphill, and it's like the Premier League has an uphill finish, right? And I think he doesn't have the staying power to do that. Leicester could drop out of the top 4. It's a big shout. Let's not forget, Roz and I made our top 4 predictions ages ago. Roz said the top 4 would finish Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, which is starting to look funny already. I said Man City, Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, which I think mine's more likely to happen at the moment. But, Roz is a big Mourinho fan. Roz, if you're watching, we have missed you today. Hopefully you will get back. You'll come back from your disciplinary action and you can, prove us all wrong on the stream. It's not about what you do off the stream, it's what you do on the stream. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll quickly round up our predictions and then we are going to say goodbye. So this is how it went down today. Newcastle, West Ham. Roz said 3-0 West Ham. Lingard. Mus 1-0 Wilson. Joe 3-2 Lingard. Wolves, Sheffield United. Roz 2-1 Podence. Mus 1-0 Podence. Joe 1-0 Cody. Arsenal, Fulham. Roz 3-1 Laka. Joe 3-0 Saka. Mus 2-0 Martinelli. Man United, Burnley. Roz 2-0 Cavani. Mus 1-0 Wood. Joe 2-0 Pogba. Leeds, Liverpool. Roz 3-4 Salah. Mus 2-3 Salah. Joe 3-2 Rafinha. Chelsea, Brighton. Roz 2-0 Mount. Mus 2-0 Werner. Joe 2-1 Havertz. Spurs Southampton. Roz 2-1 Kane. Mus 2-1 Son. Joe 4-0 Kane. Villa Man City. Roz 1-3 Foden. Mus 1-2 Mahrez. Joe 0-2 Gundogan. And Leicester West Brom. Roz 2-3 Dianya. Mus 2-2 Madison. Joe 2-2 Pereira. Lots of differing predictions there, which will make things quite interesting. Dave in the comments saying Roz going for loads of goals. And he also said, I was wondering where you were going with that Rodgers comment, Joe. That must have been why you were laughing as well.
Spot on, David. Yeah, because Joe, when you said, for Brendan Rodgers when it gets hard and he lacks stamina, I was like, where is he going with this?
Drag your minds out of the gutters, Weeple. It's 9:30 on a Saturday morning. Come on, it's a family show. Why would I make such innuendos and Orwellian discretions on the show? Right, okay, let's say goodbye. Mus, thank you so much for stopping by. I've been Joe Carter. You stay classy, San Diego.